Okay, hey, it's Jewels Muller, founder and CEO of Chicks Connect, and we are talking about home organization today. We just opened it up for anyone that wants to come on and ask questions, and I'll share my experience working for, 10, 11, 12, 13 years helping people get organized, and it was something I did when I was a young teen as well. I'd help all my friends organize their closets, and the reward for me is I'd get to take home bags of unwanted clothes from my friends. So I've always been a hand-me-down girl, and but I also haven't put a lot of energy around physical items. Like, I don't have emotional energy tied to them because I can have things go in and out, and so it's easier for me probably to get rid of things than people who have emotional energy tied to things. But Sandy's question was, go ahead and state it again for the recording, Sandy.
Well, basically, I'm storing things that I think I might need someday, but I'm not using right now. And so I'm kind of just trying, I'm in an office space where I just have storage, and it's kind of, how do I decide what I need and what I don't need and what to keep? And I guess I'm just sometimes looking at it going, I might need this someday. Or should I toss it or give it away?
Well, so all of those are great questions. And so a clarifying question I'll have for you is, do you know what you have, and can you put your finger on it when you do need that thing you saved for the someday you might use it?
Not always. Not usually.
Okay,
I've
not usually.
bought things again and then found that, oh my God, I already had this.
Right. Okay. So that kind of answered your question. If you are so uber organized and you have a system and you know where everything is and you have the room to save it, then save it. If you find that it's causing, you're ending up buying double, you don't know where the things are, you're feeling squeezed in with all the stuff that's around, and you don't think you'll use it in the next 3 months, and you definitely won't be able to put your fingers on it when you are ready to use it, it's probably time to let it go. And then there's all sorts of individual things like, sometimes people end up with 20 notepads, right? Well, what is a reasonable number of notepads to save? What ones are your favorites? What could you pass on to possibly a Boys and Girls Club or someone that could use them right away? Because you probably will acquire new notepads within the time frame of you using up all those notepads. So always kind of asking yourself, what is a reasonable number? Will I be able to put this somewhere where I know how to retrieve it? And will it be usable in the time span that I will go to retrieve it? So a lot of electronics will be outdated. If you're saving old printers or saving, scanning machines or faxes, things that and you have, perfect working ones right now, you probably don't need to save those, and then finding out who you can donate those to. So the rule that I always use with my clients is, do you love it and do you use it? And if you love it or use it or intend to use it soon, like, of course, store paper towels, store toilet paper, store toothpaste, that stuff is very reasonable because they're consumables. But storing 75 notepads and you don't plan to hold a conference where you're passing them out, really that's quite a few, and you could probably pass those on to people that could make use of them right away. And then go to the dollar store and buy one when you need one, one, not 75. So does that help a little bit?
Yeah, it does. It does. There are times, so like a year or two later, I go digging and I go, I know I've got one of these and I'm glad I do. I'm glad I saved it, but then I think, do I really, need to save it? Okay. My timer's going off. I got to go take something out of the oven.
Excellent. Okay, come back anytime.
I'll just put myself on mute and I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, Carolyn, is that chat from you?
Yeah, I didn't know. I'm not on the screen, so I thought I better type.
Oh, I see you. So if you go up in the corner, there's one box, and then there's a box with like 6 icons, and another box. It should be the top right, and then you can see everyone that's on the there's only 3 of us, I guess, right now anyway.
All I see is you and somebody by a bicycle.
Okay, yeah, that's her. Yeah, you're kind of in charge of your own view.
When I do a Zoom call, so I don't know what's different.
Yeah, and I can't hear you very well either. Do you have your volume up? Let's see what we can do about this.
I thought I did. Let me exit the full screen. I can check. Yeah, my volume's all the way up.
Okay, so maybe lean in just a little bit. I'll try to turn mine up as well. And there we go. Now say something.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can hear you better now.
Okay. So I just typed my question because I don't even know if I said it the way I really am thinking, but I tried.
Okay, so let me find the little chat box, and it says, I have piles on my desk. I have papers that I don't want to put away because I want to be able to find them when I need them. I don't have room in my drawers to put them. I need a different setup. My extra drawers are full. I go through them, but can't get rid of some of it. Okay, so yours is dealing with paper pileup. And so, gosh, something sounds... I'm going to just hit the mute real quick. There was just something that was scratching on the microphone or something. Okay, so when working with paper, we talk about 2 different types of paper. So there's the action paper, so paper that you said I don't want to lose because I need it in a few days or something. And then there's the reference paper. And so I actually have some documents with a list of different action files that you can create, and then a list of like reference files. So reference file would be your insurance policy, right? You don't really need to take action on that, but you want to keep it in a file. And so it could be in a file that's further away from your active desk. And so have you seen those stair step files that you can sit right on top of your desk? I think I've got you muted.
They're all full too.
Your action files are full?
Yeah, and I go through and I'll throw some things away, but then I think, well, if I put it away, I won't be able to find it again. And then something comes in the mail, and I'm thinking that's something I really want to look at later. So I don't want to put it someplace where I'm not going to find it. My memory isn't as good as it used to be. And so I keep thinking I got to keep it on my desk so that I can refer to it. But now I have to practically clean my desk every time I want to find anything because there's too many piles, and the drawers already are designated for stuff. And I have those little plastic drawers besides my desk, and I cleaned out some old stuff from other businesses, and I made room for something and got was able to shift it over, but I still need more, and I need to go grab more files. I wanted to try to figure out what to do with what I've got.
Is there something or a cat or something walking across your microphone?
I have no animals around me. I'm sitting in a chair all by myself.
Okay, so I wonder where it's coming from. It's interesting. It sounds like somebody's crawling across the computer.
Is it from Sandy?
No, she's on mute. So, oh well. So I don't hear it anymore. Sometimes I hear you really loud, and then sometimes I can't hear you. But okay, so when I work with my clients regarding paper, we pick up each piece of paper. Do you have a pile of any of this paper near you?
Right now?
Yeah.
I could go get it.
Because that might be handy. And so
the next, so if you hold on, I'll go get it.
Yeah, go get it, and I'll hold on here. Just grab a pile. So while she's going to grab that pile, what we're talking about is creating action files. So these things that belong in these files require action steps, actionable steps, either on a daily or weekly basis. And then we create reference files. And these are things that we need to keep or believe we need to keep. And we want to refer to them like an auto policy or a home insurance policy or something like that. And so you create those typically in a file drawer, and sometimes people will have a portable file or they'll have a file cabinet, but those are all your reference files and things that you want to keep. And your basis for keeping things depends on who you are. Some people pay all their bills online and they'll keep one copy possibly of their phone bill so that they have all the information, and then they'll shred all the other phone bills that come that year after they pay it, or they'll get online notifications and they won't have that paper actually come in the mail. So let's just hold up one of the items, or tell us what one of the items is that's on the top of your pile.
Okay, this is a receipt from our handyman, and he's supposed to be coming and taking a fan out, putting a new one in because the one he put in didn't work. And so I wanted to keep this handy so I'd be able to find it and get a refund from him.
Okay, so that's an actionable item. So you need to get a refund from your handyman. What day is he coming?
I don't know. He hasn't let us know yet. That's the problem.
Okay, and so do you have also like a to-do list or something?
No.
Do you have a calendar where you write action items? Are you waiting for him to get back to you, or do you have to call him to schedule the appointment?
My husband just left him a message this morning, so I'll give him a day.
Okay, so this is something that I would consider and call pending. And so I would make a file that's called pending, and that means you have done everything in your power to move this action item forward, and you're waiting on someone else. And so other things that go in pending would be, so let's say you purchase something on Amazon and you want to keep a copy of the purchase order or whatever until the item actually comes. And then you'd go to the pending, you'd pull it out, you'd match that to the thing you ordered, and then you could either shred it or file it in your expenses. So, and then what I'd also do with that is I would have a running list of to-do items, and I would categorize that one under household. So you might have personal to-dos and business to-dos, two separate categories. And then on your personal to-do, was it a ceiling fan?
Bathroom fan.
Bathroom fan. So you just jot that down under your personal to-dos, bathroom fan, so that you don't lose sight of that task. Even though you've done what you're supposed to do, life gets busy and you might forget about that, but then you'll have it there. And then you can even, if you need another trigger, you can say to-do personal, bathroom fan, in pending, receipt in pending, so you know where to find that receipt.
Okay.
Then I'll show you, I'll do a screen share and I'll show you how you can get those stair-step action folders so that you can see each of the things. But okay, what's next?
Oh, well, this is a booklet on floor covering that I'm interested in, and until I don't know how far down the road it's going to be that the floor man's going to come and do some other stuff, and I want to keep this information. And so I get forgetful of where I put stuff, so that's why I said I have piles, because if I put it away somewhere else, I'll forget where it went.
Okay, and when will this home project take place?
Well, again, I'm waiting on somebody else. Part of it, I'm waiting on my husband so we can go pick the carpet that he's going to come, the other guy's going to put in. And then when the guy shows up, then we're going to talk, he's going to measure my other floors. And this is one of the products I'm interested in. It's a vinyl plank that looks like hardwood for the kitchen. So
okay.
I just wanted to keep it where I could find it, and refer to it.
Okay, so do you often have home projects that you work on, whether it be the roof or the floor or whatever?
No, not really.
Not really. Okay, and is this something in particular where you have 4 or 5 different vendors you're choosing from, or just this one?
No, just this one. I know where we're going to get it pretty much and who we're going to use to install it. It's just, I got the booklet from the place, and I just didn't want to, I didn't know what to do with it, actually. I guess that's basically, I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't want to toss it because I don't want to have to go get another one.
Okay, but you already know what color you're going to order?
No, we haven't made any choices.
Okay.
I wanted to talk to him more about the product before I made this final decision. This is what I wanted.
Okay, so you can stick that in a folder called Home Projects, or specifically, so people who have a lot of home projects and have one after the other, they can make an action file called Home Projects, sorry. But if you just have this one, then you might want to say floor remodel or flooring. So whatever your mind is going to remind you to go look for it, and then it will go in that stair step. But then I'd also take that and put it on your home to-do list, to do home, and put flooring.
Yeah, well, I think the flooring is going to lead to counters and back. I think it's going to lead to a lot more, but this is where I was starting.
Okay, so home project then would be a good file for you, home projects, instead of just flooring. So that's why I asked if you had one project or multiple projects that you typically.
What are you talking about, though? What kind of file? Just like a.
Just a manila envelope. I mean, a manila file folder. And then I'm going to show you the stair step thing that you can put them in on your desk, because you don't need to be looking at that stuff until the day that you choose to work on that project.
Right.
And they'll be right there up in a vertical fashion so they're not spread out on your workspace. So back and forth listening, cooking dinner, cleaning my office, so much not multitasking, sticking to focus. I may need to take off, finish dinner, watch the recording. Okay. Questions later. Business card organization. Good. So, okay. Do not want to take the time to go through 300 cards I've collected over the years. I bet I have some great contacts in there. So I have a huge box of them. Hope to get to them someday. Okay. So we'll go over those. I'll put those on the recording. But let's see what else you have, Carolyn. What else do you have there?
Well, I've got coupons.
Okay. Excellent.
And I had a drawer that had some coupons in it, but that drawer's so full I can't get any more coupons in there. And then this one, I don't even think I'm going to be using it, but it hasn't expired yet. So I'm always afraid to get rid of a coupon until it expires. That's kind of silly, but I think if I throw it away, then it'll expire and I'll go, oh, I should have used it. I mean, it won't expire. So anyway.
Right. Okay. So coupons, do you drive the same car all the time?
Yes.
And do you drive yourself to the store?
Yes, for that. Yeah, most. Yes.
Okay, then I encourage you to get either a coupon holder. I don't know that I have an example of one, but it could be one of those expandable accordion files, that has the rubber band that goes around them or whatever. Put all your coupons in the car, because inevitably you will leave home or you'll be doing a bunch of errands. You'll stop somewhere. You'll stop at Bed Bath & Beyond. You'll be like, oh, I wish I had my 15% off coupon. I want to buy this thing. If they're always in your car, then you always have them with you. And then if you're at your car sometime at a kid's soccer game or something, you're sitting inside because it's raining outside, you can quickly scan through those coupons to see what's expired and get rid of them. The other thing that you can do with coupons is take inventory of the types of coupons that you have and put them on your business to-do list or your personal to-do list. So if you have a coupon for Fred Meyer, put shopping at Fred Meyer with a C next to it and a circle around it or something to trigger your mind that you have a coupon at that store, and when you have to run your errands, go to that store instead of the other store. So that's kind of the thing to do with coupons. If you find that you do not use coupons, but you're cutting coupons, then either change your behavior and use the coupons or stop cutting coupons, because you're most likely people are shaming themselves and kicking themselves and using bad negative talk because they are not, their intention is not in alignment with their actions. And so if you want to use coupons, be organized about how you're going to use them and put them in your car. That's the best suggestion. Or your purse if you have a big giant purse and like to carry things like those.
Not really.
Yeah. So if you don't drive your own car, then have a lot of people have a landing area right when they walk in and out of the house. And so if you have, they have those hanging files that can go up a wall, like 3 of them with a little whiteboard or something next to them. So if you don't drive your own car, or you're often shopping with other people who are transporting you, you can put your little coupon container in those files and grab it before you go. But again, setting yourself up for success is the best way to go. So either in your car or right by the door on your way out.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, was that Sandy that asked about the business cards?
Yep.
Because I have one small drawer on the left side of my desk, and I was just looking at them this morning. It's crammed with business cards.
Yes, business cards is a big organizing thing. So what else do you have in your pile, though? We'll get to business cards next.
Oh,
You're being a great guinea pig.
I know, and I'm realizing how much crap I have. This is all the stuff from Waco, and I went there in July, and they sent it to me from the Chamber of Commerce, and I've already made the trip, but somehow I just didn't want to toss it. Yeah, now that I look at it, I think I just need to toss it.
Okay, so there you
the
go. Woo, toss, excellent. So let's say you didn't want to toss that because you are a scrapbooker. Okay, well that would make a lot of sense, and you would put that into a scrapbooking project file, and then you would schedule on your calendar time to scrapbook. And so if you were a scrapbooker, then we would have a process for that particular item. Since you're not, you were able to toss it, you let it go, yay, high five. Woohoo, yes. All right, what do you have next?
Well, this is a brochure that I got at a vendor show, and I go to a lot of vendor shows. I'm in a lot of them, and I get things from people, and I don't want them throwing my stuff away. So some reason I think I've got to hang on to everybody's stuff. And so I have this little catalog, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it because I'm not in the market right now for this product, but I always think, well, what if I am down the road or something?
Okay, so same question I had for Sandy. So what if you are down the road? Will you be able to find that and remember remember where you put that so that you could go or even that you have it? So if you do have a system for that stuff, great, then keep it. If you don't, I would encourage, so let's say you have this thing and you haven't looked at it yet. So an action file for things that you want to look through would be called to read. And so creating another file that's just called to read, things like newsletters, publications that come home from kids' school, brochures like that, stuff that you pick up that you grab that whole to read file, and every Tuesday night or every Wednesday morning with your cup of coffee, you go through your to read file, read all that stuff, and then toss it or get rid of it. Now, if it's someone's brochure like that, this is what I recommend you do. I'm sure the contact name and information is on that catalog. Okay, so anytime you have a catalog like that, and we're recording this, I don't know if I'll get in trouble or not, but I don't know. So if rather than throw it away, leave it somewhere for someone else to find, right? So if you go to the dentist, leave the catalogs at the dentist. If you go to the doctor's office, or if you are on an airplane, tuck it in the pouch in the front of the airplane, and maybe someone sitting there will pull it out and want to order something from that person. You never know. So pin it to a coffee shop bulletin board for that person, if you're not going to use it. And let me tell you something. I am pretty sure that the majority of those catalogs come out every 3 months. Is that correct, Carolyn, in the direct sales and network marketing? Okay. Probably.
And I probably even could go online and look at the same products under the website.
Right. So So if you aren't going to order something from that catalog in the next 3 months, then it's best to, pass it on and try to look for the new stuff.
And I do have a drawer in my stack of my plastic drawers. I do have a drawer that I keep catalogs and publications. I just didn't put that one in there of different, especially my chicks and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can refer to them or go to them. So I do usually do have a space for that. I just thought about that after I said it.
Great. Is it labeled so you know what drawer it is?
No, but I don't have that many drawers, so it's not hard to find it.
Okay. So you'll know where to put that one. Excellent. So for those of you that don't have a drawer like that, you can put it in your to read file and then determine which direction it goes from there. So let's say you ordered something from that catalog and you circled it on page 3, then that particular catalog could go in your pending file and wait until that item comes in. And then once it comes in, you compare it to what you bought, and then you can, recycle it or pass it on to another friend as a referral. Okay, so what else do you have there?
Well, this is interesting. These are love notes from my husband.
Oh, now.
When I did a vendor show down at Cindy Goff's, every time I unpacked another item, he had put a sticky note with a little love. He hadn't done this before, and it was kind of unique. And I thought, I don't want to throw them away. So.
Right. And even as a professional organizer, I don't encourage people to throw things away that bring them love and joy. But what I do suggest is one thing you could do is lay them all out on a table and take a picture of them. Then you can upload that picture to Facebook. Facebook will remind you every year about the wonderful thing that your husband did. That's one thing. Another thing is I kept all my kid notes when I was a teacher in a hat box. So I got a decorative hat box that's really cute, and I put all my love notes and all my teacher notes and all my appreciation notes in there. And anytime I'm in a funk, I can grab that hat box and I can look through those things about how much people think I'm wonderful, right? So you can go back to reminding yourself of those pick-me-ups. So that's another thing you could do. Maybe you have a special book that you like to read, and you want to rehide them. Maybe rehide them in your Bible. There's just flick through and put them into your Bible every 100 pages or something. Yeah. And then you're constantly reminded of those things. So our items talk to us. And I do a lot of this in the closet when I'm working with clients in their closet. Their clothes say something to them. And if they aren't saying something positive, it's time to get rid of that article of clothing. If your pants are telling you that you're too fat because they're tight, those pants need to go. When you reach the weight that you want, then you buy a brand new pair of pants and you reward yourself. But if every day you open your closet and you look at those pants and they're telling you you're too fat, then that is not a good way to start your day. And so, I have clients that have clothing that it was an ex-boyfriend's, but every time they see the sweatshirt, they get excited and they're happy to see that sweatshirt even though they're not in a relationship anymore. I say, great, then let's keep it hanging in your closet even though you don't wear it, as long as there's room for it and it brings you joy. So that's how we determine the stuff that we own, whether or not it's something that we should keep and where we should keep it. Awesome. So what else do you have? Color.
Coloring book from last year's CCIC.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So tell me about that. What do you...
I don't know. I guess because Jane was in there and it was a cool souvenir. I don't think we're going to do anything like that this year or next year, but I don't know. It just was some of those things that I felt like guilty if I threw it away or something. Like I don't know. Weird feelings about it. It's not like I'm in love with it or that I have to have it. I just, I don't know. A lot of work went into it. I suppose that's it. And so I feel, I don't know. I just feel like I should keep it.
Okay. But you said you feel guilty when you look at it and it's not good.
No, I felt guilty if I throw it away. Like
Okay, okay.
No, I don't feel guilty looking at it. It makes me happy, but
So how often do you want to look at it?
I don't really need to ever look at it.
Okay, then take a picture of it and away it goes.
It's done.
Or just away it goes. Excellent. High five.
High five.
All right. What else do you have? I know it's just, you guys, it's just one thing at a time. It really is one thing at a time.
Okay. I take notes wherever I go. Oh, this is funny because this one's on downsizing collections. Notes of, like if I was trying to see if I had more in here. Just notes that I've taken to different meetings or events. So I end up with all these scraps of paper with these notes on them. And I don't know. I think I should keep them in case I want to refer to them, but I don't even know if I will. Like of course I'm not doing this anymore, so I can throw that away.
Yay!
Now I got a clean notebook. I'll keep that. I mean, a clean pad to write on. So.
All right. What else do you have there? So you have these notes. Okay. So I love to use paper and I take notes as well. And I'm constantly writing down things. And then, a couple times each day, I'll go through my notes and I'll pull out what I need. And something so satisfying to me is ripping out the piece of paper and wadding it up and throwing it away. And so this, you'll see my last coaching client. So there were 20 people. I know the environmentalists are going to be very upset with me, but there were 20 pieces of paper where I had notes for my client. And I am best at writing instead of typing when I'm working with my clients one-on-one with coaching. And so I'm writing, I'm doing mind mapping, I'm drawing things are connecting and going from space to space. And then I take those, I look at them, and I put them in note form and send them to the client. So in your case, you could take your notes, type them up, the important aspects of your notes, read through, is any of this stuff really important? Are any of these actionable items that I want to put on my personal to-do or my business to-do? And then look at each paper and then wad it up and throw it away. Or the other thing I do, if I do not take the pages out of my book, I will go through my books. This isn't a good example because this is one where I rip the pages out. But if I'm not ripping pages out, I'll go through and up in the top right-hand corner, I'll put a check. And that means that I don't ever have to reread that page again. I've taken all the information off that page. There's nothing, that I need on that page for me to reread again. So coming up with a strategy, otherwise, there is no way that you're going to be able to refer back to notes taken from a workshop. You won't know what's there, unless you are filing them in the title of the workshop, perhaps. So definitely, if it's an organizing workshop, you can put organizing workshop notes on a file and put them in there and then refer back to them later. But 9 times out of 10, you're probably not referring back to your notes. Is that true?
Right.
Yeah.
Even when on my iPad, back when I was doing Take Shape, I typed all these notes at all the different meetings, and they're in there, and I've never looked at them. I just need to go in and delete them all because they're not even, I'm not working that business, and they're just taking up space in my iPad, but at least they're not papers.
Right. So they're electronic files. But if you think about it, after every meeting, so all of you can make a habit of this if you want to, but after every meeting, as the meeting is drawing to an end, or your lecture or whatever, if you kind of draw a line under your notes and write down takeaway or action items, and then say, these are the 3 things I'm going to do as a result of what I learned here, or this is the one takeaway that I'm going to implement right away. I'm going to put it on my action item list. Or if it's a committee meeting, this blows my mind. I'm in committee meetings with people and no one's taking notes and everyone's agreeing to do this, that, or the other thing. and no one has written down what their responsibilities are. And I'm like, how do you know what you've agreed to do? And then I find that I'm chasing people down to, follow through on what they said they were going to do. So if you're in a meeting like that and decisions are being made as far as who's doing what task, make sure there is a note taker. And it can simply be a column, this is the task, this is who's doing it, this is the due date. So there's 3 columns. And then you can do something like that for your own use as well. So what is the task I'm supposed to do, and when is it due, and who do I give it to? So those things are important. But again, your notes that you take, don't beat yourself up for taking the notes, because that's how a lot of people learn.
I can't not take notes.
Right. And I take notes too.
I take notes everywhere. So
yeah. And that's fine. But also be okay getting rid of them, even without glancing over them if you want to. But have those things that are action items on an actual page of to-dos, which is separate from your note-taking perhaps. So you don't have to sift through all that.
I just purchased it off of Steeple because they were like $1.50 a piece. I purchased a notebook for all my chicks that are working on the CCIC, and I'm giving them to them Thursday so that we can all keep our notes in each individual notebook, so that they can keep notes however they want to. But I'm giving them a tool to keep notes in so that we can all try to be on the same page. So
excellent.
That way it's in one notebook, and that's what I want to try to, because I've got notes in my day planner on different pages about it, and then it's hard to put it all together. So it's going to go in one notebook.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so anything else in that pile?
Okay, well, this is an application for consignment, which I'm probably not going to do because it's a vendor show I'm going to be doing in about a week. And I'm not doing the consignment thing. That's just what they're about. And then they have vendors. But I took a packet thinking maybe I could share it with somebody. I took 2 of them. I already did give one to somebody. But I don't see that I'll use it personally. I'm not going to consign my clothes. I don't wear the sizes. It happens to be plus sizes. So it's a nice thing. I could take it and give it back to them when I go to the vendor show, or I could toss it.
Okay. Or is there someone at your meeting? So you have your meeting day after tomorrow. Do you have a binder that you put resources in to take to the chicks at your meeting?
Yes. But I've already talked to them about it. Nobody's really in the same category. It's on the other side of town.
Oh, okay.
And it's for plus sizes, so really it wasn't really
applicable. Yeah, so you can toss that, or you can take it back to them. And if you are taking it back to them, pack it in the stuff that you're taking to go to the vendor show.
Yeah.
And then hope you remember. Yeah.
Well, if I don't, then I'll toss it.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
All right, what else do you have there?
In my pile there. Okay, didn't even know this was in the pile. Just an empty notebook.
Okay, so it goes on the stack with your other notepad. That's from Chicks too.
That's the green big one.
From Rosemary.
Yep. And those are, sometimes I just use those for certain meetings I go to. I just want a little notebook to take and keep them in there. There's more coupons. Okay, that goes with coupons. Oops.
Okay, you know what to do with coupons. What else do you have?
That goes on the floor. I'm trying to find something different because some of this stuff I can, like notes and stuff, I don't need to repeat that. Another empty pad.
So while she's looking through that, sometimes as we're going through these piles of things, we find magazines, multiple subscriptions of magazines. And I've had a lot of clients say they feel guilty. Again, there's the guilt talk, right? Just tossing or recycling the magazines if they haven't read them. They believe that because they purchased them, there's something important in them for them to read. Or it's a recipe that they tear out and add to the pile that they may or may not intend to actually make that recipe. And so I encourage my clients, if they have magazines, and if they're currently reading all the magazines they get, then great. That's a habit that you have, and continue doing that. If you're getting a lot of magazines and they're causing you stress and overwhelm and clutter, and they aren't adding to the joy in your life, then stop all the subscriptions or transfer the subscriptions to someone that wants them. Then places like, again, Boys and Girls Club, if they are appropriate magazines, or schools, if they're doing dream boards, or you want to have all your chicks over for a meeting and do dream boards and rip up those magazines and place all the words and pictures on your dream boards, that's fun too. And then when you want to reward yourself by actually purchasing a magazine at the grocery store, sit in a hammock and flip through the pages, when you can give it the time and energy it needs. Otherwise, it's becoming part of the problem and part of the negative self-talk that you have in your head. Now, if you are someone that likes to flip through the magazines because you're looking for ideas, you're looking for, maybe they're home magazines or something, and you're looking for ideas, you're looking for recipes, you're looking for kids strategies, all of those things are great. But if you rip those things out of the magazine and those don't have a system and they become part of the clutter, then that's going to overwhelm as well. And then you could start shaming yourself for not making the recipe that you intended to make. And so organizing is a lot of a head game. And it's one where you want to be bringing in positive self-talk and following through on your intentions. So if you rip that recipe out, have the intention to schedule the time to go to the grocery store and buy the supplies, schedule the time to actually make that meal, or give yourself permission to just pass that recipe right on by, or pull out that recipe and ask someone to give it to you for your birthday. Will you please make this for me for my birthday? This recipe is something that I'm really excited about. I know I'll never do it for myself. Would you do it for me for a birthday present or something like that? So always take the thing to the next step and say, is this leading on a path to me shaming myself for not doing something, or is this leading to a path of joy and happiness for me? And those are the kind of the distinctions. I had another client who would shame herself every single morning. She would walk into her closet, her walk-in closet, and there was a big tub on the floor of her closet filled with baby pictures. And her message to herself is, I am a terrible mother because I have not created my baby books. And so I'm going to put this tub of pictures right at the foot of my, right when I walk in my closet, so I stub my toe. So there's going to be physical pain, emotional pain, and shaming. And it didn't work. So she never, so that wasn't working. So we had her do a mind shift and say, okay, do you intend to create the baby book? Is that your skill set? Is that your desire? Do you want to do that? And she said, no. And I said, it doesn't make you a terrible parent or mother. So what can we do? We can forget about the baby book. That's one option. We can just organize some pictures in a shoebox and give them to the kids and say, here's your baby pictures, when they're 21 or whatever, when they're 18. Or you can hire someone to do it for you. There's probably 30 other things that you could do versus shaming yourself and kicking yourself and physically hurting yourself every morning. And because you're not getting the results that you want from doing that either. And it's not setting you up for a great day. So, Carolyn, did you come across anything else?
Yeah, you know how you get these, well, this one's from St. Jude.
Yes.
You get all the return labels.
Yes.
You didn't ask for them, but you get them.
Right.
And I most of the time don't remember to use them, but I always feel like they're nice and I don't want to throw them away.
Okay, so I have an actual file that's called To Mail. Remember, these are all action files. And so this file contains a handful of envelopes of various sizes, those things, stamps, and some cards, some note cards. So if I'm writing a thank you or I'm sending a birthday card. So this file's like a little kit of things I need to mail, and that's where I stick that stuff. Now, unless you're doing handwritten Christmas cards of 500 at a time and not using send out cards, which I highly recommend, then you're never going to use up as much as they send you. So that's an item that you would want to shred if you're not planning on using it, because it has your address on it.
Right. Yeah, I've got a shredder.
Yeah. So when we're going through offices, and I put this on the home organization exercise, keep here because it fits the description of this particular space. Keep elsewhere because it's something you love and use, but you do not want to use it in your in the space you're organizing right now. Donate, toss. Now, when we're dealing with offices, we have a whole, a few other tubs that we need. We need a shred tub because you're going to have documents that you want to shred that you do not want to just throw away. You're going to have a long-term reference, and those are things like that you want to keep for 7 years in a banker box, and so those will be also things that you'll put in a different type of labeled tub. And then safe deposit box. So I also encourage my clients to open up a safe deposit box offsite from their home where they're putting copies of important things. And those aren't that expensive, and it is nice to have that safety. And then I have a document that lists everything that you might want to keep in one of those. So I can share the organizing documents that I'm talking about as well, if people want specific ones. So what else do you have?
Okay, and I do a lot of this. I write notes on envelopes, like either I see something on TV or, it's not like taking notes at a meeting. And like this one, it's funny because it's Clutters Anonymous, OCD support groups, the Secret Life of Hoarders, because my history with my husband. I'm feeling right now that I might be an enabler here. Obsessive compulsive foundation. It's like I keep thinking I need this information. Name of a book, and so I suppose the best thing to do is write that in a notebook instead of keeping it on an envelope.
That, or you can create, again, a file that you could just toss that into, and the file might be called Internet Resources or something, Internet Time, Google Time. You can call it whatever you want, but what that particular piece of paper needs is you in front of your iPad or your laptop for 45 minutes to an hour dedicated to searching that stuff up. And so oftentimes there will be things that we'll need to search up online. And you can call it research time, or you can call it, like I say, Google, or, internet exploration. You can call that file whatever you want. But what you need to do is schedule time in your schedule, either once a week or once a day, 15 minutes a day. I don't know how much of this particular type of stuff you have. But a lot of this stuff is happening for people and piling up because they're not scheduling time to attend to it. And if you have to pay your bills twice a month, let's say, you might want to schedule time into your calendar on the 15th and the 30th of every month for a half an hour to pay bills. Then you grab that to-mail file, and in there you have return address labels, you have stamps, you have envelopes, little sticky notes can be in that file as well, so that you have everything you need to pay the bills. And so same thing with that. I don't know that I'd rewrite that. I'd stick it in a file and then use that for internet time where you're doing Google searches.
Well, my problem is I save things that are important for my husband and for myself because he doesn't, take care of anything like that. So,
so why are you saving it for him then if he doesn't take care of it?
Well, I mean, like I just ran across this from Sedgwick, which is workers' comp, and a little workers' comp prescription drug program. I don't see that we're going to use it because he's got insurance coverage, so there's probably not any reason for it.
High five.
There you go.
High five.
On the floor. A lot of it's going to be.
So this is the thing that happens with my clients too. They don't even need me to tell them one way or another. They start talking themselves out of keeping things. But again, look what's happening here. This has been 50 minutes. I don't know if anybody's going to watch this or not, but there's some tips in here. But Carolyn, you were brave enough to be on with me, so here we go. But the thing is that this takes time. And once you get the hang of it and build this habit, you start saying these things to yourself. Is this bringing me joy, or is this causing me shame? Is this positive self-talk or negative self-talk? And then it's easy. The negative self-talk stuff's got to go. You might feel guilty for a second, but guess what? After like 20 minutes, you're going to forget you even had that thing. But every time you look at it, you're going to have a bit of shame. So get rid of the sucker. All right, what else you have?
Well, I've been throwing things away anyway, just as you've been talking.
Yay!
I realized I don't need it, it's crazy. It's like this is what, 3 pieces of plain old notebook paper I tore out of a notebook.
Yeah.
It's going on the floor.
There it goes.
Yeah. I just, okay, this is, we have Jewels School every week, not every week, a couple of times a month. And so they have handouts. And so I know I've got some more on my desk in another pile. And I need to probably do a folder on just because they're good tips. And I do like to go back and refer to them.
Okay, so I love 3-ring binders for those types of purposes. So if you had a reference binder, and in it maybe you have so especially for your business, okay, so let's do this. Let's say that you get a 3-ring binder, you 3-hole punch that thing, and one of the tabs says best practices or whatever you want to call it, but this is information and resources. Another tab might be marketing ideas or something. Another tab might be blank templates to use at parties, because you need a sign-in sheet, right? And you probably have people fill out a little hostess. Don't they fill out a hostess card if they want to host a party?
I hand out survey sheets, yeah.
Okay, so survey sheets. So if you had a 3-ring binder with everything you needed, and you can get those plastic sleeves. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those see-through plastic sleeves, and you can put things in there. And then you use that when you go to parties, so it has all your resources right there. You also use that when you go to trade shows. And then any kind of bragging thing, like you said, Jane is in this this Chicks Connect thing, right? So let's say that a picture of you and your business as a vendor at a certain event has a feature. You can cut that out and put that in a sleeve, and it's like your little brag book. That's behind another, or if a newspaper did an article on you or anything, but you keep that all in that 3-ring binder, and that becomes your resource guide that you take with you everywhere. And that kind of stuff would go in there. All right, so we have a few more minutes. I want to make sure to get to Sandy. I don't know if Sandy will listen to this whole thing, but okay, so Sandy says, I do not want to take time to go through 300 business cards I've collected over the years, but I have great contacts in there. Okay, so business cards. So the thing about business cards is you have to make a decision, a plan, and you don't have to go back in time, but if you make your plan today and move forward with all the business cards that you have today, then it won't be so overwhelming. Then maybe you can add 5 or 10 of those business cards from the old pile into the daily, keeping up daily. Okay, so one thing to do would be to organize them back before, I don't even know. I don't know when we started keeping contacts online. Probably a long time ago, like in spreadsheets and stuff. But I had a physical, again, a 3-ring binder because I was a professional organizer and I was in BNI and I had to make referrals all the time. I kept multiple business cards of my network. And so in Bend, Oregon, I had a 3-ring binder that was about this thick. And I had those plastic sleeves where you could push maybe 16 business cards in each. And then you turn it over and you can stick some more in and then some more. And I had auto, I had beauty, I had them all organized by category so that I could make referrals. That's probably why I won Notable Networker or whatever, because I was constantly making all these connections and I had everybody's business card at my fingertips. Now, nobody does that really anymore. Maybe they'll keep a small notebook of 5 or 10 people that they'll refer. You could refer your chicks, things like that. Keep at least one sleeve in a 3-ring binder of people you like to refer. But there are all sorts of apps where you can snap a picture of a business card, and that contact will then go into your email marketing campaign or into an Excel spreadsheet of some nature. And so you can take pictures of all the business cards, and those contacts can then be alphabetized. You can search them, all sorts of things. So that's what I would do with the business cards, is determine a system, start today moving forward, and then those 300 cards, either bless them and let them go and believe that you'll meet those people again, or take them in chunks. So I'm going to add 10 of those to my contacts that I'm adding today. I'm going to add 10 more tomorrow, 10 more the next day, and do it in chunks. Or hire an intern and have them enter everything, or snap the pictures, and so that you have all those contacts. Excel spreadsheet is great. You want to do what you're most comfortable with. Mine today is really easy. My Infusionsoft application has something that allows me to take a picture of the business card, real human beings, transcribe them into my actual my email contact list, and then I can determine a tag that I want to put on that person. So maybe I met them at CEO Space. They are a Chicks member of Chicks Connect. They are, a joint venture partner. They are a possible speaker. I can put a different tag on the people once their contacts get entered. So that's how I do it. A lot of your email services will have that type of system available as well. And if you are a visual person that wants to see the physical card, then I recommend getting those sleeves and really determining who are your A contacts, and maybe divide them A, B, C, or by industry, like I did way back in the 2004 is when I did that. So other questions about business cards, or the old-fashioned Rolodex, putting them in, stapling them to those things and putting them in there. Most people are going to choose the electronic mode, or at least putting them in an Excel spreadsheet. All right, Miss Carolyn, other questions? You coming across some other stuff?
Just miscellaneous things that have to do with things about my husband, and I just need to put in, whoops, did I lose you?
No, I'm right here. Can you see?
No. Oh, there you are.
My screen? Okay.
Yeah, right there.
So this is my very old website way back when I was doing organizing, but I want to go to my peaceful productivity. I want to see if I have any.
You have them, yeah.
If I have that file here. It's thinking.
I just found I have a lot of repeated of what I already told you, so you've already given me some amazing ideas, and I have a great big pile on the floor, I'm happy to say.
Yay!
Well, taking your organizing class back when I met you, I still use a lot of that. I just haven't been very good about the paper. I'm better at physical, like my closet or drawers and stuff. I use the system, and that you taught me way back when. So the paper thing has always been my. But I want to see those files. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can look them up on Amazon here. Oh, you know what? I bet I have it in my photos, before and after. I think I do. I never go to this website. It was a good business. There was a lot of business before the economy crashed. I had a lot of mean, that was right before 2008. But it was fun. It was fun to help people get, okay, so right here, I don't know if you can see this. I don't know if I can make, oh, I can make it bigger. It's not very, so a lot of times in people's kitchen, okay, so look at that. That's the before.
Yeah.
Paper everywhere. And these flat spaces like this, these horizontal spaces become what we call hot spots. And they just collect people dump stuff, you know. And so we went through each one of these items, and you can do this on your own, but ask, what is the behavior? What is it that I want to do with this thing? You know, like, what am I going to pay it? Am I going to read it? Am I going to schedule it on my calendar? Do I need to buy something? So to purchase. A lot of times we need to make a bunch of purchases and we need to pick through some certain things. So all these pieces of paper got set up in what is now the action file system over here in the corner. And some people that have a busy schedule and manage multiple things will make Monday or Sunday through Saturday files. And so that's why I asked you, what day is the repairman coming for the fan in the bathroom? And you didn't know that. But if you had a file that said Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you knew that your chicks meeting's on Thursday, anything chick related is going to go in the Thursday file. If you knew that the repairman was coming on Tuesday, you stick that in Tuesday. You don't have to look at it till next Tuesday. Then you open up Tuesday on Tuesday, and it's filled with the things that you need for Tuesday. So if you know that you have a chamber meeting on Friday and you have to share your flyers, stick them in Friday. And then on Friday, grab Friday and say, oh, right, these are my flyers. I'm all set to go. I have my flyers. And you can do that with different to-do items as well. So that envelope where you have the different resources, just scribbled on there, you could stick that in a day of a week. And you could say, every Wednesday, I'm going to spend my hour going over the internet stuff. And so you just pull out the Wednesday file, you open it up, you look at all the things you have to do, you prioritize. And if you don't get to it that Wednesday, you'll leave it in there for the next Wednesday. And those work for people that are on, that have things scheduled daily, because then they don't have to fish around trying to find what they need for Wednesday's meeting or Tuesday's doctor appointment. Sometimes they want you to fill out forms before you go to the doctor appointment, and you have to bring them with you. But maybe that's not until, Friday, and it's Monday. Stick it in the Friday folder. So oh, and then up here, do you see in the top where she has those shelves up above, those 3 binders? So we also put things in binders. So they had a home maintenance project going on. They too were doing flooring, and they were remodeling one of the kids' bedrooms. And so they were tearing out of magazines pictures and ideas. So we made the 3 binders, and we put those sleeves in there so that they could use those as reference binders as they work on their projects. Now, when that project ends, they can then, toss all that stuff and use the guts for their next project. But those project binders are great because you can always just grab them and take them with you where you need to go. If you're going to the Home Depot, or you're going to, maybe it's a business project that you're doing, like the CCIC. Having a binder for CCIC might not be a bad idea. So, and then this just shows, in this space, it's taking all of the clothing and then determining what they love and what they use, and then putting it back. And we like to color code and put things with like things. This was, the woman called this a scream room. She'd open the door, scream, throw stuff in it, and then shut the door. Over here, you'll see 5 or 6 lamp shades, all white, because every time she bought a new lamp, she put a decorative lamp in place of the white shade, but she saved that white shade just in case. So Sandy, if you're still listening, the just in case I might use it, her behavior dictated that she always put a decorative lampshade on a lamp. She would take off the one it came with, and she would put on a pretty one. There is no need for her to keep those white lampshades. She's never going to put a white lampshade back on one of those lights. And so those were an easy decision for her to get rid of. But she had that mindset, I better keep it just in case. This is perfectly brand new. I don't want to throw it out. No, but there are people that could use it. So donate it, and know that your generous heart is going to put these things to use for someone else. So do not be afraid of getting rid of it. And then, you know, they reclaimed the space. It's now an exercise room with a, you know, TV and things like that. So same with, you know, closet organization here, things tip over on these top shelves. So putting baskets up there. One of the baskets was dedicated to University of Oregon cheerleading pom-poms, University of Oregon colored clothing, because they like to go to all the football games. And so one of those baskets had all that stuff in it. So when it was time to go to a football game, she'd pull the basket down, pick out the paraphernalia that she wanted and put it on, and she was on her way. You know, another one was filled with like nylons or something that she doesn't wear that often. So you just have to know what's up in those baskets, or you can label them with little hanging things. And then this is awesome. This was an entire wrapping center. So finding this little thing down here that holds the wrapping paper, doing the ribbon stuff over here, having all the supplies necessary. So and next week we're going to talk about office organization, so I'll mention this next week as well. But when you are working in your office space, that's why you want your action files very close, like on your desk or within one of the drawers that are very easily accessible. And then you want everything like you're in a cockpit of an airplane, everything that you need to be successful in your daily work environment, have close by. Stuff like staples for the stapler, that can be in a supply closet, because you're only going to need those things once in a while. So it's setting yourself up for success as you move through things. But I'll show you, I'll see if I can search for one of those I think they're just called step files. I think they're $6, $8.
Whatever the basket ones, and those are bad because then you just put more papers on top of them.
Yeah. So here they are. They have a little slant to them. You get these manila file folders, and you write to pay, to read, pending. You can do your Sunday through Saturday. If you don't work that much on Saturday, Sunday, you could do Monday through Friday, and then you can call one weekend. So you can determine what it is that you want to call these things. I'll have to go through all my old stuff to find my.
Are those like on Amazon?
Yes, but you can buy them at any kind of, like typically at Staples or. Yeah, so somewhere I have, I'll have to go through, I think on my hard drive, I have like all the action file names. But to pay is going to be, you know, where you stick all your bills. So you don't even need to open your bills when they come. You can just stick the envelope in the file that says to pay, and then determine the 2 days a month that you're going to pay bills, or every Friday you pay bills. And then you pull out that folder, open it up, and do the things that are inside. So you're not constantly shuffling through that horizontal, you know, paper mess in your area. Yeah, here's, what's that?
I have a crazy system for my bills. When I get it, I open it and find out what date it's due. I write that date on the envelope, and I have right on my desk in the back. I stack them in order when they're due, and then I go online and pay, you know, like a couple weeks at a time. And so, and then I just, when I pay them, I write that they're paid online, and I go put them in my cubby. I've got a bunch of cubbies in the kitchen, and they all go there until I pull for taxes. But I think I'm going to start putting them in a like one of those folders that has the different months, and because I think it'll be
right here, like one of these.
Yeah, when I go to sort them for taxes, it'll be a lot easier. You can grab a whole stack of just everything. So I'm thinking.
And so for taxes, I just use my statements. my bank statements.
Right.
And so I don't use the bill anymore. Once I pay the bill, I keep one copy, like I said, of my Verizon. So in case I need any of the information off of it, I keep one copy of my, I don't even know. Most of my stuff's online now. So
I pay my bills online, but I figured you have to have the receipt of someplace of it too.
And that's on your bank statement.
That's true.
So especially if you're paying them online, you have all that information. So the actual piece of paper doesn't really doesn't prove anything.
So I'm basically doubling up when I don't need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are those step files. Those are good. Just manila folders. Some people like to get fancy folders. And then, just you pick up a piece of paper and you say, okay, here is a birthday card. I need to mail this, so this is going to go in my to mail file. And then when I'm ready to mail my things, I'll pull this out and get it all set up. And probably, since this is a birthday card, I need to be more timely with it, but that's how I would do that. All right, my darling. So that's a little bit of that. I think we covered some of Sandy's information. The main thing that I want to stress to people is our conversation around organization. And all too often, people are not nice and friendly with themselves as they're working through the organizing process, because for some reason they believe they should be doing it differently or have it done or be better at it or whatever. And the main thing that I think people don't do is actually schedule the time. And the stuff doesn't take care of itself on its own. It just doesn't. But the less stuff you have, the less time you'll have to dedicate to it. And so we talk about our homes being our sacred space. So determine if the items should even enter the home. Are these things I even want to bring into my home? And if so, how long are they going to stay? and it's like the unwanted guests. It's like, how long do I have to put up with this bag of stuff I just brought into my house? So just be kind to yourself. Understand it's a process. Take time. Versus, so many people say I get overwhelmed with. I don't know, Carolyn, if you want to stay on, but I think I posted something in the group, and I can answer these questions really quickly in case anybody. I posted in the group, what's your biggest challenge? And I may just do another one of these because it looked like people were interested, but I don't know why they didn't show up tonight. But that's okay. All right, so my phone is thinking. I said, what area is your biggest challenge? I think Emily said all the spaces between the walls or something like that. So that was cute. Somebody said their closets. Again, I would encourage you all to start with a hall closet, a small hall closet or a junk drawer, and open up that hall closet. Start from left to right. Pull out the first coat that's hanging there. Say, do I love this or use it? If you don't, it goes in the donate pile. If you do, then you want to keep it here. It's going to go back in there. And do every single thing that's hanging. Then do everything on the top shelf. Match up the mittens. If there are, is an extra one without a partner, keep it until you're finished with your organizing process, and then let it go. Let it be free. Even if you find that other one, give yourself permission to say, well, I'm going to let that one go too. And it can find its mate somewhere along the way. And then you go on the floor and you find out what's on the floor down there and go through all of those things and say, do I love these things? Do I use them? If not, they're going to be on their way. And you can do that and get yourself organized. Now, if you have 7 raincoats and you don't wear a different one every single day that it rains in Portland, ask yourself, what is a reasonable number of raincoats? And then ask yourself which one works the best, because if it is a raincoat, you want one that actually keeps the rain off of you. Which one's the cutest? You want to keep things that make you feel cute and pretty or beautiful or fits you the best. And then, you know, keep 2 or 3. That's reasonable in rainy Portland. Where it's not reasonable to keep, you know, 7 raincoats is Arizona, probably, because it doesn't rain there maybe except for once. And again, keep every single thing you want to keep if it's bringing you joy and you love it and you have the space for it. If you're overwhelmed and shaming yourself in any way, then you need to make some decisions. So kitchen, my desk, not enough drawers, room to categories, so piles end up, all of it, it becomes overwhelming. Okay, so that's when I'm talking, when things become overwhelming, chunk. Set the timer for 15 minutes and say, I'm going to be successful organizing this space for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to be done with it, and I'm going to go reward myself with some popcorn or whatever. 5-year-old daughter's room, Harmony. So I would encourage you to organize with your daughter and teach her how to do some of these things, and they can be very successful. So that could be a whole nother thing I could talk about. Small apartment, no garage, hard to organize things. House for the most part looks organized. Okay, my office. So we'll talk about office organization next week. Organize paper items, bills, infos. Okay, so all this paperwork, that's the thing. Take it off the hot spots, put them into action files. Anything that is not an actionable item that you have to keep becomes a reference, and that should go in a file cabinet to never be seen again for, you know, a year or whatever. My desk, the family always puts stuff on it. The house is too crowded without storage like our previous home. So some of the areas, and this is Tracy, you need to claim for yourself, and you also need to train the people that use the space. So if they're going to be using your space, they need to know the process for keeping it organized. So if you have people that put things on your desk because they want you to see it, create a little inbox for them and train them that this is where it goes. I am going to put this back on your bed until you figure out where this goes. So train and retrain your family on how to use your systems. My office, the basement, okay, office, bedroom and closet, office, closet. Keep telling my husband it's because we need to build a bigger closet. All this stuff that I don't use regularly, want to get rid of just in case. That was Sandy. We talked about that. The bathroom. Okay, bathroom's fun. So that's all the little nooks and crannies, all the little things that you want to use. So real quick thing about bathrooms, items expire. So in your kitchen and bathroom, looking for expiration dates will help you determine whether or not you should keep or get rid of something. So always check the dates and get rid of them if they have passed. And then keep a little note, and you can, you know, buy more vinegar if that expires. I don't know if vinegar expires, but random little stuff. I don't like storage bins, plastic containers, cheap drawers. Every basket or desk entertainment drawer just becomes a dumping ground. Every single thing will be a dumping ground until the space is identified and defined. We all understand that silverware goes in the silverware drawer, and there's an actual silverware holder for the silverware. But if you have 13 other drawers in your kitchen and they are not identified and they are not defined, and so, you know, this is the Tupperware drawer, this is the you know, plastic bag drawer, baggies and things like that. If a drawer is not defined, junk will find its way in there. So reclaim your spaces. And that's true for, remember the scream room? They didn't have a definition for that room, so it became the catch-all. Everything was thrown in there. And if you look at the 5-step process that I wrote in my book, we talk about defining the space first. So how do you want that space to be used? And then if the item doesn't fit the definition, it doesn't get to live in there. It's not invited in there, right? So it might come to visit, but it needs to go back where it belongs. So I can talk to Tiffany about that. I'm very organized. My closet, this is Jody. She says, I'm very organized. My closet, kitchen, bathrooms, office, pantry. Issues, the garage. Daughters have stuff in there. Try to organize the garage. Having like items all together to no avail. I love to organize. Okay, so Jody has the organizing bug, but it might sound like a little frustrating because the rest of the family doesn't. So how can we train the family to be successful? And how can we also help them? One of the strategies that I learned is, after dinner, you turn on the music and you do 10 minutes of everything goes back to where it belongs. And so you turn on the music, so everyone's, shuffling through the house, returning items to where they belong. It's like a cleanup. Paperwork, home office, laundry, toss up linen, medicine closet, office, the part inside the walls. That's what Emily said. That's hilarious. Office and kids' room. Okay, so anyway, that's just some nuggets. That gives you an idea of just one space. Typically, kitchen counters get the brunt of the paperwork because it's kind of the hub of the house. Offices sometimes are off, and so the paperwork doesn't really make it there. But you have like one stage of paperwork in the kitchen or somewhere in the landing, and then another stage in the office. So try to use those action files, reference files for that paperwork, and have fun with it. And get rid of, high five when you're tossing and deleting and what are we calling it? Shredding, all of that. So Robin just jumped on at the end of our call. There she is. Hi, beautiful. How are you?
Hi, very late.
Well, we were just about to wrap up, but now that you're here, if you have a question, I'm getting all fired up. I was excited. Carolyn was an excellent guinea pig and went through the whole thing, getting personal with her items, and we just had a fun time. So, and Sandy was on a little bit earlier, but do you have an area or a question in particular? Right back there, what's that area?
That's my office.
So it's office. Okay. And do you just have a table for a desk, or does it have drawers?
I've got an actual desk, but this is all, now I've screwed up my camera, sorry.
That's all right.
I'll deal with that later. So I've got an actual desk with double monitors and my camera and lights, but everything around me is a mess.
Okay. And
everything.
Do you spend time filing paperwork?
Not like I should.
Do you believe that you need to keep every piece of paper?
Unfortunately, yes, and I've got to get over it.
Okay. So a lot of what we talked about today with Carolyn and things is just our mindset and how we can retrieve what we do need to keep. And we talked about reference files and action files and actually 3-ring binders as storage. And so I think by listening to, kind of put us on in the background, I recorded this. So, you can put us on in the background and listen to some of the strategies I used with Carolyn. But quickly really thinking, okay, a lot of people say, I want to keep this because I might need it. Okay, the logic behind that is if you can find it, great. But if you don't have a system for retrieval, then there's no sense keeping it. So if you say to yourself, okay, I need to keep this because it's important, or I might need to refer to it again, I'm going to ask you, what's your behavior? So let's say you had a series of resources for passing the SAT, let's just say, whatever, that's just, something, and you might want to refer back to those. Well, your behavior probably would take you to Google and have you search up resources for strategies for taking the SAT. You're probably not going to look through mounds of paperwork that you've kept over the years to retrieve that information. So
right, and it's probably out of date if I've kept it.
And it's probably out of date. And so this too is true when I work with clients in their kitchen and they have 30 cookbooks that are taking up 7 cupboards, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask you this. Here's a scenario. The bananas have turned brown. You're making banana bread. Where are you going? Oh, I'll Google banana bread. Oh, will you? Because you have 30 cookbooks. It's like, you're not going to look in one of those for the banana bread? No, I'm not. Well, then don't save them. Don't save them. free them, release them, save the ones that are so cute to look at that decorate your kitchen, 2 or 3 of those. Save the ones that have your favorite recipe in them, 2 or 3 of those, and that's a reasonable number. Then let all the rest of them go. Let them go. And someone else will pick them up or use them as a bed prop to, even out their bed or something. But we ask for your mode of behavior. And if your behavior does not say, I used to look back at all 12 months of my Verizon phone bill. No, I've never done that. There's no reason to keep that. I pay it online. I can keep 1 copy of that, so I have all the contact information and I know what I'm paying for. I can keep my contract, but all the rest of them can be shred. And so, it's really about changing that mindset and having, the other thing we talked about are action files and reference files, and that takes care of all the paperwork. But then also scheduling time to maintain it all. And I encourage my clients to, if they want to stop working at 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock or whatever time they want to stop working every day, to back that up, by 20 minutes and stop your day 20 minutes earlier from the time you want to leave. Maybe it probably takes you 20 minutes. And then wrap things up. And so put things back where they belong, clear off your desk, set your schedule for the next day, make your to-do list so that when you show up at work the next morning, you are prepared. I say the same things for parents of children. Make the lunches the night before. Have them pick out their clothes the night before. Homes are crazy getting ready in the morning. So when you do these things the day before, you do them 15 minutes at the end of your work day. But that's why people are disorganized, is because they haven't scheduled the time to maintain what they put in place. And everything needs maintenance. We maintain our health, we maintain our vehicles, we need to maintain our spaces, and we have to give it appropriate time and not shame ourselves when we aren't successful with this. This stuff doesn't do it on its own, and we can't, yet it's the biggest area of shame. It's amazing, not the biggest area, but one of the biggest areas. Like, why can't I keep this together? Why can't I find that? What's wrong with me? I can't remember that. I have lost that. I bought duplicate of that. Well, calm down, take a breath. Everybody, but we don't give the value of dedicating the time. And if you can do things in chunks, 15 minutes here or there, then it will get done. But scheduling that time and honoring yourself that you want to set yourself up for success. So are there other things in your area besides paper that are a problem?
Office supplies.
Okay, so one thing, and I've created, is an office supply list. So let's say every 1st and 15th of the month, you do an office inventory, and you already have this list of things that you need in your office, and then you just put a check by what it is you need to purchase, and that becomes your shopping list. But you schedule that. Oh, today is office inventory day. I'm going to go through, check everything, see what I need. It becomes my shopping list for Saturday when I go to Costco or go to Walmart or wherever. And then you have we talked about your office being set up like a cockpit. So when a pilot is in the cockpit, they need to be able to reach everything because they aren't unbuckling and getting out, okay? So the things you use on a daily basis, you need within arm's reach, or whatever you can reach behind you. It's called prime real estate. You want the things that you use the most. You don't want your 2015 taxes to be stacked up in some of your prime real estate on your desk. That can go in long-term storage, right? We're done with that. That's 2 years old. And so rearranging your space, or like a chef in a kitchen where the spices are here, the stirring's here, the hot pad's here. It's like an orchestra. We can do it all within arm's reach. That's how you want to set up your desk. So you're not running to the other room to grab the scissors and running, over here to get that. So you set yourself up. Now you have all these extra supplies kept in a drawer or a cupboard that can be far away, because during that last 15 minutes of the day, when you're preparing yourself, you're checking your notepad, you're checking your staples, and you can replenish those things on a daily or weekly basis from the storage area. So it doesn't need to sit out, you know, causing clutter on the desks. And then anything on your desk that doesn't bring you joy, or a warm heart, take it off your desk. You know,
Yes.
have a nice quote. Oh my gosh, one example of this, we worked in the battered women's shelter, and at eye level, so all the women who worked with the battered women, so they were the staff, that we blessed them by organizing their whole entire workspace office. One day my organizing team went in and we just, you know, did their whole thing. But this woman in particular that I was working with, she had her desk, and then right at eye level was a shelf with all these binders, and on each of these binder tabs it said rape, abuse, drug addiction, you know. And so at eye level she was looking at rape, physical abuse, sexual abuse, you know, every day, and she's stressed enough as it is, and she was left-handed working in a right-hand person's desk.
Oh.
And so there's so many ergonomically correct things that you know, with your lighting and with your height probably as to where you need your desk to be comfortable, chair, everyone's hunched over like this when they're working on computers all the time, you know. So how do we, what is it that we can do to bring the shoulders back, and at what level, and how far should this be so our eyes, you know. So all of that needs to be taken into account. But just because you've shown up every day and sat in the same chair at the same desk that's been at the same height doesn't mean it's right. And that's what these women were doing. And so we really built their space around them. Yes. And made it serene and beautiful, and put those reference binders behind a cupboard door. We don't need to look at those words. We're already dealing with that. That's the reality of our business. Let's not be, you know, subconsciously absorbing that energy. Let's put some positive things there, and pictures of family and happy women with their kids, and, you know, stuff like that, the great stories. So anyway, I encourage you to rebuild your space, get excited about it, say, am I comfortable here? Is this the right height? Is it too deep? Can I move this light around? And are these colors soothing? And do I need some doTERRA oils, you know, a peppermint or whatever, something that might bring a sense? But go through all your senses to try and rebuild your space into something that's creatively energized, so that you are your best self in that space.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then spend that last, even if it's a half an hour, say, I quit work at 4:30. My appointments are done at 4:30. From 4:30 to 5, I prep for the next day to set myself up for success. I set myself up for success. I confirm appointments. I make sure I have all the documents I need, and then I pack up and go home. We are home, but
that would be huge. Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise, how can anyone expect themselves to maintain just going from one appointment to the next without any prep time? It's that transition time that's so important for people, and they don't think to schedule that in, because it you know, they just think, well, I'm done with this at 4:30. I can schedule 4:35. I might just have to go pee. You know, well, you know, you might need a little bit more than just go and pee. You need to, you know, get yourself prepared. So other things that are on your desk or in the way there that are
just piles of paper, and it's not organized for tomorrow at all. So I like the take the end of the day, clear off the junk, get it ready so that I can come in tomorrow morning and be ready to go, because I find myself in the morning scrambling to figure out, wait, what happened to that? I was supposed to do that today. Where'd it go?
Yeah, so you might be able to relate to this. Always assume that you might have a substitute the next day. So plan for the substitute. You know, I mean, I would have my lessons laid out just in case I was sick and a substitute had to show up to my classroom and run my whole day. And so assume that you are setting yourself up for the substitute the next day, even though you're going to show up, but you'll be set up for success, you know? And so that's helpful. Then you're not scrambling. You're with your positive energy, ready to go. But yeah, so some of the things that we talked with Carolyn about are those action files that are really a great way to take all the loose papers that are all around, determine the action that needs to take place with them. So if it's a bill, it's called to pay. You do a file folder called to pay, you stick all the bills in there. If it's a to contact, you want to contact someone and have coffee or schedule a date or whatever you want to do, stick them in a file and then go through your files. The other thing you can do is Monday through Friday files. So if you know you have a meeting on Friday, stick all that paperwork in Friday. If you know you have a repairman coming on Tuesday, stick that on Tuesday. Then you just pull open the file. It's Tuesday. What do I have to do today? It's all in there ready to go.
Nice.
And then it's not scattered, around. So we talked quite a bit about Carolyn's stuff, specifically about each item that she held up. So if you want to go back and listen to any of that.
Excellent.
Awesome. But it can be done, and you do it with a positive self-talk throughout the process, and no shaming allowed. And then you high five when you get rid of something. So Carolyn and I were doing a lot of high fives because she was dumping stuff on the floor. So the other thing that we do as professional organizers is we typically take away your donation items so that you can't sneak back in and grab stuff out when you're having a weak moment. Because your mind will say, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. I feel bad about that. I feel guilty about that. I could use that then. No, you've already made the decision. Stick with your decision. Donation items go out to the trunk of the car. Garbage items go in the trash all the way out. Shred items go to however you're going to shred and take care of those items. And then your keep elsewhere items can be put away into the other spaces.
Excellent. I like it.
All right.
And I already brought up I've got those stacking boxes, the clear boxes full of pens, more pens than a human being could use in a lifetime.
And are they branded pens for your
business? Not all of them. A lot of them are just pens that I've collected through the years, and my students are forever forgetting to bring something to write with. So why don't I just go through that tomorrow night and put them in a shoebox and take them to school?
Excellent. And do you know what I do? Because I'm weird, but the only kind of pen I like is a pen with a push. I do not like pens with caps. And so I've made the rule that as I'm sorting pens, I only keep the pens with the push, and I donate all of the pens with the caps because I won't choose them. And so if you think, do I choose this over this? 9 times out of 10, I choose this. So why am I saving this? There's no reason for that. And you can do that with your clothing as well. So I have 27 sweaters. What's a reasonable amount? Probably 10. Okay, which ones would I choose? Which 5 would I choose right off the bat? You pick your 5 favorite. Okay, which would I choose if I'm wearing this? And, and then you find out there's 17 you would never choose, but you just keep them there. They're taking up space, and I don't know what they're doing. But someone else wants to be blessed by those things. And, now with the hurricanes and stuff, I don't know if people in your area are shipping stuff or what, but there are people without homes, they're gone, in the Keys and all of that. Yeah. So, and I remember Hurricane Katrina, I was working with an organizing client, and she had dementia, darn it, but her husband passed, and so we were going through, and anytime you're working, just so you know, if you have adult parents or whatever, sometimes they'll hide things in socks. And so they'll hide cash in socks. They'll hide cash inside of coat jackets, credit cards behind picture frames, underneath the bottoms of drawers. And so if you're ever going through your house, your parents' houses or whatever, or people are, go through it thoroughly because they start to hide things at a certain age. But anyway, I was working with this client, and we were going through all of her husband's clothing and donating it to the Hurricane Katrina victims. But I had to keep telling her that Vern had passed, and that we were donating his stuff to the hurricane victims over and over again because she had dementia and couldn't remember that he had passed. So anyway, there are people that can use your stuff is the point behind that. And if you're not using it, let's bless other people with this stuff.
Exactly.
And especially if it's causing you stress, because it could bring joy and wonderment to other people. So awesome. Anything else, Carolyn?
No, wealth of information.
Awesome. Robin, anything else?
No, I'll be listening to the replay.
Okay, then I will upload it to YouTube.
Like my piles.
What's that?
I said her piles could be just like my piles.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to see. Is there stuff on the ground there? Do we get to see your pile on the ground, or did you already take care of that?
I took a picture of it.
You took a picture of it?
Yes,
Nice.
I texted it to you.
Oh, you already texted it to me.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Well, we'll post that on the post it on the chick. So what's the top picture? Papers or?
Left.
Oh, okay, left for files is the top one. All the other stuff's on the. Excellent, way to go. Yeah. All right, high five. All right, it's fun. It's fun to organize, and yeah, it is fun. It's fun to me.
I'm inspired to work on the rest of my desk now.
Excellent. Well, now you have a system. So it's just having some tools and knowledge. And Robin, you'll see in the replay, I showed Carolyn just a step file that's great for her action files. You can get them for like $8, just wire things. And you just do the file folders. And I'll try to find the action titles for the file folders. I have a document that I can share that has
Excellent.
That has that. So if that's helpful. All right.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming on.
Yes.